Okay. Okay, welcome everyone. You are in the right place. This is ProcureLA, fast track your team to a winning city contract. We are on module 4. So module 4 is creating marketing strategies that is designated for the City of LA Department and the prime contractors. And this is, my name is Christine Espiritu from PACE, Pacific Asian Consortium and Employment. Go. And just a little bit of introduction about PACE. So PACE has been around since the 70s as an organization as a whole. However, the Business Development Center has been around since the 90s, and we have been providing business training, technical assistance, one-on-one counseling, and access to capital to entrepreneurs like you. We are an SBA microloan intermediary and a community advantage lender. We are also a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. We're also a community development entity and an official CalCap lender. And we also house an award-winning women's business center. And welcome to our module 4. So before this, we've had 3 modules already. So first we had started with navigating the City of LA government structure and contracting opportunities. And then after that, we were doing procurement opportunities with the City of LA's RAMP portal, which is the portal for procurement opportunities. And then last week we had introduction to the City of LA certifications. So if you had missed those 3, I will give you a link to be able to access those on our e-library. And now we're in module 4, and then in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be completing the loop and then having a module on mastering the bid proposals. And then after that, what happens after you get the bid? So we actually do the full circle from beginning to end. So just a little bit about ProcureLA. So as many of you know, there are all these things that are going on in the next few years, right? So we all know about the Olympics in 2028. Next year, there will be FIFA, so there will be the World Cup. And then in between, we're going to have the Super Bowl and then also some other sporting events like the NBA All-Stars, which will be in 2026. So with all those different opportunities, different events, there will be also opportunities for procurement. So that's what ProcureLA has been designed to accomplish along with our partnership with the City of LA's Mayor Karen Bessa's office. So if you are a small business looking to go through contracting, we have free resources and services through ProcureLA. And so PACE is, as I mentioned, is an official partner of the mayor's office. And so since between 2021 and 2024, we have served over 370 minority business entities. We have helped in acquiring over 116 million of contracts awarded to many business owners. We've had over 66 million in financing capital and bonding that we've helped small businesses with, and we have helped in creating over 1,000 jobs. And so what is ProcureLA? What services do we offer? So we have access to business assistance services, access to procurement bulletins, so you will be able to see ongoing notification of procurement opportunities and related resources. And we have one-on-one counseling sessions, so individual training, strategic planning, consulting, and small business trainings. We can help you with your bid proposals and also submission assistance. We also have many different access to resources such as business matchmaking, workforce assistance, referral, and then partner searches. We also do some follow-up technical assistance. And then we also do a lot of different workshops like this, so both in person and virtual. And we also have a few different supplier diversity conference matchmaking events. In order to be part of ProcureLA, there are some eligibility requirements. So you must be a for-profit business operating within the City of LA. You must have an active business tax registration certificate that is current and in good standing. You must be operating from a commercial location and have a valid commercial lease. So you have to have a brick and mortar store or location. You must identify the negative economic impact resulting from COVID-19, and you must be in good standing with the Secretary of State if applicable. So many of you say, so what if I'm not eligible for ProcureLA? So don't worry, because PACE has many different programs that basically will be able to help you. So we have, for example, the Women's Business Center, the MBDA program. So regardless of whether you're eligible for ProcureLA or not, I would consider that you sign up for and apply for ProcureLA.com, because what happens is if you're not eligible, we'll be able to filter you out and assist you in different programs and also help you with procurement opportunities as well. So with that said, I would just like to introduce our speakers. So again, my name is Christina Espiritu from PACE, and then we're going to have our first speaker, Patty Ross from Golden State Marketing, and after that, we'll have Jose Diaz from PACE. So I will let Patty Ross introduce herself and go for it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces, names, I should say. I don't see faces in the attendee list. So welcome, everyone. Let me just share my screen here, and then that'll make it more interesting. Okay, so let's get these slides going.
Oh, and then Patty, I forgot, just a little bit of housekeeping. So if you do have questions, I would suggest putting them on the Q&A. You can put some on the chat, but it gets a little bit lost. So put them on the Q&A. And so we will have a little bit of time afterwards to talk about any questions that you may have. So thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, well, I'll try to watch the Q&A and chat along the way, but especially the Q&A. If not, we'll wait till after Jose is finished and we'll wrap up with some answers for your questions. So welcome, to the marketing strategy in the procurement space. I know all the modules Christina mentioned, the ones you've already watched, the ones coming up. You're going to learn a lot about the certification and procurement process out there. I always say the quote, easy part of the procurement process is getting certified. I mean, it's not that it's totally easy, but I always say, but now what, right? We get all the ABCs of certifications out there and city, county, state, wherever. And then you're like, well, how do I get in front of these opportunities? How do I meet the subs and primes and build relationships so you can get in front of all these great sporting events that are coming up? But the city, the county, they all spend or buy billions of dollars of products every year and services every year. So if you're not in front of them now, you hopefully will with these sporting events and then beyond that. So that's why we're here. So just a little bit about me. I know I have some familiar names in the room already know me, but I have been in the online space here, I say, since the internet dinosaurs roamed the earth. Wine industry is my 21st year, so I usually have a winery in my portfolio, but I do business to business, business to consumer, and some business to government as well, as you can see here. I do teach classes for, probably met me through SCORE, SBDC, some of the business source centers. I do teach the marketing portion of PACE's entrepreneur training program. I think a couple of years now. We have one coming up in April as well. So you'll see me somewhere around Los Angeles teaching and beyond. And I do serve an important, part of building your social capital, as I call it out there, is participating in the business community. So I serve on my local Venice Chamber of Commerce board. I also serve on the National Association of Business Owners. I'm currently the membership director, a past president, and I'm also now a current officer for BizFed LA on the Small Business Employment and Labor Committee. So important to support your local community, but also participate and help build your social capital as well with that. So that is me. So just to give you a background of like my contract experience, my very first one, and my prime is in here. I think I saw you in here, Carlos, was Ramp. My prime, Carlos, Sherpa Marketing, how we met originally is in building that social capital. He attended one of my SCORE classes way back in 2021. We connected through some marketing lab live I did. We had a conversation. And then a few months later, he goes, hey, do you want to be on this RFP for this project with the city of LA to rebrand LA Bavin, what it was called before it was Ramp. And we were tasked to rename it, rebrand it. Carlos's team came up with the logo and the branding kit. I handled the email marketing portion to build the brand, build awareness of the portal to get more of you businesses signed up on it. So that was my very first contract. Carlos keeps dragging me along on new opportunities, and we're both now working. I'm a sub under his prime contract for LA Optimize. We're in the middle of that contract to get 100 businesses digital ready. That's a spillover program from Mayor Garcetti back from COVID. And I'm also, this isn't really a contract, but I guess you can kind of say it as part of building that social capital and getting involved. I'm a marketing advisor for the LA Chamber's Resilient Business Advisor Program. We're now starting our 4th year. It was supposed to be just a 6-month grant gig, but the chamber has gotten additional grant funding for us to continue. And I learned about that through being a chamber ambassador, teaching for the chamber, and just networking and learning about the opportunity. So a lot of it, as I learned and went through the whole process of getting all the certifications initially and getting excited about all of them, and I got women owned, small business owned, all of them, all the alphabet soup of certifications, then it's like, well, how do I get in front of these opportunities, right? And a lot of it was building these relationships. I've learned that with what I do in the marketing side of things, most likely I always will be a sub. So it wasn't necessarily for me to go out and find contracts other than to pass them to a prime like Carlos and say, and add me as a sub, because usually my contracts are stuff that I would do as part of a bigger contract of things I don't cover. So it's about building those relationships. So just a little housekeeping, get your camera, phone ready. I'm going to show a couple different QR codes, but you'll get the slides, I think, later, but just in case you want to screenshot and get the QR codes, just keep it handy and on, and I'll let you know when there's a QR code coming up to scan. So how do you find these opportunities, right? So I just say, get out there, right? And as I just said, figure out, are you a prime or a sub? Some of you might be both. You might have contract opportunities that come up where you do everything. You're the prime of it. Maybe you have subs. Maybe it's a contract that it's just you. But figure that out so you know what's the approach, right? So primes, you're going to go out there, and I know PACE is in this program sharing different tools and places that you can go find these opportunities like Ramp as well. But if you're a sub, it might be building relationships to get in front of primes, right? But it's whether you're doing this for your business for procurement or just general marketing for your business, it's the more you're out there, the more you're out there, right? So I always talk about building social capital. So social capital is, as it says here on the slide, it's like building social ties, getting out there and resources, connecting with people, collaborating, could be teaching, starting conversations with strangers. It could be personal social capital as well, building that in your community. So everything you do out there especially in the business world in LA, it's like who you know, what you're doing, what you're participating in builds your social capital. So just like, you're building your networking. And we all probably do networking, right? Whether in person or online. We've all been doing that virtually a lot since COVID. But networking is just the intentional and purposeful act of building and nurturing professional connections, relationships, and collaborations, right? We would love it. I think Christine and I were joking at the beginning saying, wouldn't it be great? We just get certified and people come find us, right? But probably most likely not going to happen, right? And even in our business world, right? We put out a shingle and then hope people come find us. We got to do the marketing, and networking is part of the marketing, right? So why do you network, right? So of course, to find new clients, connect with primes or even subs, find new hires for your business, expand your opportunities and collaborations, meet people, learn from others, right? So your network is your net worth, as it says here. And don't be afraid to network. Now, some of us have a different levels of comfort with networking, whether it's in person or online, introverts or extroverts or in the middle, ambiverts. But don't be afraid of doing it. So get out there in person strategically, especially in Los Angeles. We all could probably network almost 24/7 if we wanted. There's so many groups and mixers and events you can attend. So you kind of have to be a little strategic about it. Online, we're going to talk about LinkedIn, especially for business to business opportunities. You do want to do it online. I know, especially with LinkedIn, when I say don't be afraid to network, I hear this all the time. I teach a LinkedIn class and people say, oh, I don't like LinkedIn because it's just spammy, right? People are spamming me all the time. So I want you to take that out of your vocabulary right now, today, because if you think people are spamming you, if you're active on there, you are also spamming them, right? So we don't want to look at it as we're spamming anybody. What you're doing is networking, right? So if you think about, let's just pretend all of us in the room today, we're all at a pace mixer somewhere and we don't all know each other. We'll go and walk across the room and introduce ourselves. And let's just say I'm gonna pick a name. Okay, Elizabeth here. Elizabeth and I walk across the room to each other and we, introduce ourselves. I say, hey, Elizabeth, what is it you do? And she starts explaining to me what she does. And I'm assuming after she's done, she's going to want to know what I do. But as she finishes, I'm about to talk, she puts her hand in my face and she goes, don't spam me. Now, Elizabeth, I know you wouldn't do that, but that would be the equivalent, right? And like we wouldn't be rude to each other and not let us give each other our card and explain what I do. And whether we are interested in what we do with each other, maybe there's a connection there, right? So the same thing, especially with LinkedIn, where that's our way of introducing ourselves, right? We send each other a connection, the other person accepts the connection, and then, it's our opportunity to sell ourselves in a way. There's a softer way to do it, of course, than just like, hey, let me tell you all about my products and services and let's schedule a call, right? So there's people who are really comfortable with being salespeople. The rest of us feel a little sleazy, right? Trying to sell ourselves, but you have to get comfortable with it because this is how you get business out there. So it's just maybe the approach. So whether it's in person or online, don't be afraid to network because it is about building relationships, a part especially with procurement as well, getting to know those people in the procurement space, those primes, those subs, etc. Right. So you've already been doing this in the chat. So just if you haven't already in the chat, network, right? Share your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn company page, your website, email, anything that would be on your business card. Don't put your social security number or your home address or anything. And also put on there if you're a sub or a prime, or put both if you are both. So we'll share the chat file with you so you don't have to click on everybody's links right now, but share that information. There might be a sub or a prime in the room to work with. Somebody can get you in front of an opportunity or some resource. So share. Network away. You have, let's see, we have 142 business owners in the room. You never know who's in the room here. So network is about building your brand, right? We do a lot of things to build our brand, right? We have marketing materials. We have a website that helps build your brand, right? Your social media is part of building your brand, but networking is also building your brand. So whether this is for procurement or just in general, it's same principles here, right? Definitely attending any industry events. I have a few at the end I'll mention that are procurement related. One's coming up next month that you might want to attend. There's plenty of them out there. Look for these supplier diversity summits. I'll share some places to get on lists so that making sure you get in front of these events and opportunities that are coming up. So definitely participate. There's plenty of opportunities here in Los Angeles, chambers, trade groups, industry groups, different association groups, so affinity groups. So get out there, get on lists as well and attend those events, whether in person or virtual. Definitely active social media engagement. We'll talk about that when it relates to LinkedIn. Joining those professional groups that might get you in front of those opportunities. Again, volunteer for leadership roles, like I mentioned, participating on boards or committees for various organizations. Speak at events, right? You just saw the opportunities I got from speaking, teaching marketing classes, and Carlos connected with me, and we're now on a couple contracts together. So it definitely, if you're have a role that you could speak, get in front of groups to get in front of your potential contacts. Definitely creating valuable content out there. You're sharing your subject matter expertise. You want to show even the procurement space. You want to know who you are. Do you have that expertise? If I didn't put out marketing materials and especially teaching, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you, Carlos. But if he didn't attend my class and go, oh, okay, well, she teaches email marketing, maybe I can have her do the email marketing on this contract. If I had content on my LinkedIn or my website about email marketing, okay, well, I guess she knows what she's doing with email marketing because there's content out there, right? Definitely having good personal branding materials. We'll talk about that, business cards and all that to get out there, networking. I'll talk about that down the road here. Building your referral network, of course, that's what building your brand is about. Being helpful, offering advice, right? And connecting, right? If you meet me at an event, and even you'll get some today or talk to me on the phone, I'm going to be throwing a bunch of links and this is where you should connect. These are people you should know. So be that helpful person. I just like doing it. I'm going to connect people where I can, but make sure you do that so it will come back to you, right? And definitely the fortune is in the follow-up, as they say. Make sure you're following up, right? I'll share a story about share the story now about follow-up. So I was speaking at a panel it was actually for PACE at the Little Tokyo Business Association last October. And I was in a marketing panel and they had a reception afterwards. And they all knew who I was because I spoke in one of the panels. And this gal walks up to me and I said, "Oh, what do you do?" And she goes, "Oh, I do tech." And I'm like, okay, so am I gonna have to do 20 questions and learn what she does? Like, okay. So this gentleman walks up. I didn't know they were coworkers. And I said, "Oh, what do you do?" And he says, "Well, I get paid to give you back more of your time." And I literally, like, I had my business card and I'm like, "Here, take my card. What do you mean you're gonna give me back my time? It's gonna cost me something, but okay, what is it?" And it's like, I think it was like a CRM tool or something. So this third gentleman walks up to us, unrelated here, and he says, "Oh, what do you do?" So the gal's still stuck with, "I do tech." And then the other guy he went to, "Oh, I do software." And I kind of like nudged him. I said, "No, no, no. Tell her what you just told me." "Oh, I get paid to give you back more of your time." I go, "That's your pitch." Now, unfortunately, like I said, the fortune is in the follow-up. I literally threw my card in his face. He scanned me. I scanned him on the digital cards. I'm like, "Call. What is it? February?" I still haven't heard from him. So whatever it was, whatever money I might have given him to give me back more of my time, I still have my money. He doesn't have any money on that. So make sure you follow up because my time is probably more valuable than money at this point because I can't make any more time. So definitely it's important to network. Here it says 85% of professionals reported building stronger, more meaningful business relationships during in-person meetings and networking events. So definitely face-to-face is still important here, getting 5 years past COVID now. Sole proprietors who actively network had a 55% higher chance of business success than those who didn't. So very important. And businesses utilizing social media for networking experience an average of 12% increase in sales. So definitely, and depends on which platforms as well. So, and then effective networking, right? So definitely, as I mentioned, be strategic about the events that you attend. Because again, we could spend all day every week attending events. So make sure you're strategic about that. Get to events early and plan to stay late, right? Don't show up late. Don't like just go over to the food and wine bar and nibble away. Make it a point to go out there and meet 3 new people that you haven't met before. Make that approach. Don't wait for people to approach you. Don't be the plant in the corner, right? As well. So make sure that you're making the rounds and you show up and you're present and you're ready with all of your materials and your pitch, so to speak, or at least what you do, so you know how to tell people what you do. You can definitely greet people you've met in the past, definitely rebuilding those relationships, staying in touch with people, of course, but meet new people as well. And again, fortune is in the follow-up. Make sure that you do follow up on those leads, not like the guy with the software who's going to save me time. And definitely, again, be generous about offering tips, referrals, right? Leads, of course, non-competitors as well. Very important. And then LinkedIn, and then just Jose or Christina, just keep me on time. I don't know where my my time in my schedule. If you have a 5-minute warning. So LinkedIn. So this is going to be if you're not already active on LinkedIn, this is going to be your most powerful tool as far as social media, especially for B2B, B2G, meeting people, right? Again, according to LinkedIn, 80% of B2B social media leads are generated through LinkedIn. So 4 out of 5 of those leads come from LinkedIn. Okay. And LinkedIn wants you to participate in many ways, right? Not just show up and connect once in a while and hit them up with a message, not just posting and running, right? So they reward you the more you do because it's a networking platform, also for jobs. That's one side of it is career and jobs, but the other side is business and networking, right? So this is where you do want to build those relationships. It's not like where you're going to post what you ate for dinner and how cute your dog is, right? That's the other platforms. This is where you come to build those relationships with everything you do there, right? So you're going to connect with people, you're going to follow their pages, you're going to post content that could be posts, newsletters, etc. you're going to engage. You're going to be reciprocal, right? Look at their content, like it, comment, repost it, right? Create a newsletter, which is really a blog. Participate in groups. A lot of leads happen in groups, and they could be within your industry, connecting with other people in your industry or industries you're trying to do business with as well, right? So network. And then this is always confusing for everybody. So I always like to explain kind of the basics of your LinkedIn presence, right? So we all just kind of works like Facebook. We all start with a personal profile, right? On LinkedIn, it's your personal professional profile. Okay. So profile should be you, your name, your picture. The headline background could be your business, but this should be you and your professional resume, what your jobs are, your skills, your education, your volunteer, whatever you're sharing on your personal, your professional resume. Okay, this shouldn't be a company. Okay, it should be you, and you should only have one profile. Okay, as you as a person, because we're only one person. Now, on company pages, they're managed under your profile, and you can have as many company pages as you want. So if you have 5 companies, you can have 5 pages, but only one profile. Okay, so I don't know if this applies to anybody in the room, but if you're in a situation where you have a couple different things happening in your world, maybe something's on the down low as far as a business, like I work for Goldman Sachs, but I have my own business doing, marketing consulting, for example, maybe totally unrelated, but I have a side gig, right? But I don't want Goldman Sachs to know about it. So I'm like, well, how can I hide it? No, you have to, or I had a client yesterday, they have 2 different companies and they're trying to like, well, which one do I promote? And I'm like, you have to figure that out because you only can have one of you. So if you want the company A to be the top one that you're promoting, great. If not, do company B, or split the headline on or the banner on the top. But you have to kind of figure that out. The only time, and I probably doubt anybody in this room is in this situation, is that you could have either a pseudonym or a different profile. Is I had a author of a book that he is literally in witness protection because his book exposes mafia secrets. So I don't even know his real name. I don't want to know. I don't want the mafia coming after me. But in that case, we use the book pseudonym for it when I was working with him. So in that case, if you're in witness protection, you can use a fake name. Other than that, it should be you. Okay. And your company page is managed under your profile, just similar to Facebook, where you have a personal profile and company pages that are administered under that page, right? And then when you're connecting on LinkedIn, some of these are basics you probably know, but for those that don't, right, the people you are directly connected to, so one of you invited the other and the other accepted, are first level connections. Your second level is you're not directly related to that person, but you have mutual connections. So that might be when you're connecting with them, you can look in their mutuals because they're listed there and go, oh, hey, it looks like we both know Bob Smith from USC. I want to connect with you, blah, blah, blah. So there might be a little familial thing that you can mention when you're connecting with them. And then third levels are like nobody's connected to anybody, nobody knows anybody. So you can connect to those as well, right? And then when you're doing some connecting, especially in the procurement space, you can type in procurement, for example, and you can choose people and narrowed it down here to the LA area. And I didn't have the number that came up, but it will pull up anybody who has a job title that's something in the procurement space. So we pull up, I see LA Metro Area Director of Sourcing and Procurement, directors at Red Bull. So if you want to do business with somebody at Red Bull, procurement and supply chain at Okami Medical. I think there was one from the city or the county in here. LA Metro, Director of Procurement. You can put in titles like Chief Procurement Officer if you want to get in front of procurement people. But make sure if you're going to reach out to the Director of Procurement at Red Bull, that you've done your research, right? Most, and I probably learned this somewhere in PACE, most of them have a supplier diversity page. Some better than others. Some actually list all the different services and products that they buy. So you don't go to them and go, hey, what do you purchase? Or do you purchase marketing? Right. I've heard from several different procurement officers in a procurement event, like, don't ask us that question, because that tells me you didn't do any research. You didn't go look on our website and see what our initiatives are and what type of things we want to purchase, if they have it on there, or signed up for their vendor portal as well. Make sure that if you're going to approach them, if they have a vendor portal that they use, that you have signed up as a vendor on there so that you're already prepared, right? Maybe somewhere in this program, they'll talk about outreach as well. But I found that to be the case. You want to make sure that you're very prepared before you reach out. And then some cases, this is a quick story, you would be surprised at what they purchase. NABO LA had a procurement event, and we had actually Mayor Bass there and a couple of city council and board of supervisors and the president or the chair of LADWP. And she happened to mention during this event, she said, we purchase everything. She goes, we work with lactation consultants. Now I said, well, how would any lactation consultant know LADWP purchases that service? Right? So you never know. Go look at the lists and see. I don't know if there's any lactation consultants in the room, but go to LADWP, they purchase that service. So definitely do your homework if you're going to do outreach, and connect with them here. And don't ask those questions. Maybe it's something a little bit more specific you want to ask about it, but you should already have that information in hand before you reach out to them.
Well, and Patty, I just wanted to give a 5 minute.
Oh, perfect.
word.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't
thank
have
you.
that much more to do. So your networking tools, right? So this is a weird time, right? We're kind of in that physical and virtual world. A lot of people are like, I just use digital. I always say do both, right? Jose is going to talk about your capability statement, but I surprised how many people I go to events and especially their business events. And I go, oh, do you have a card? They don't have a card. They don't even have a digital card. I'm like, why are you showing up at events to meet other people and network and you don't have a calling card, something to leave them with, even a digital. So make sure you have a card. This example here of mine, I have 2 different physical business cards. I did one for the procurement space. So if at a procurement event, I have the QR code on the back that goes to my capability statement. I have a landing page on my website. I put all my little certification logos on there. So my non-procurement card has a QR code just going to my strategy session. If you want to connect with me on Hi Hello, there's the QR code right there will go right to my Hi Hello. I prefer that digital app because you can put all of this information on there. You see the first one I have there. I remove that. It's not on the real one, but I have my capability statement there. You can schedule a session, join my LinkedIn group, all of my social media, my contact information. People can connect with you there without scanning you. So there's other digital tools out there, Blink and Popple and a bunch of them, but I found Hi Hello. You can set up different digital cards as well. So if you want maybe one for procurement and one for non-procurement, you can set up different cards that people can scan. So always have them. I prefer having a physical card handed to me, and I like giving out a card, but I have the option. Well, I keep my Hi Hello on the first page of my phone. So make sure you have them everywhere you go. Stash them in your car until you always have them. Oops, one thing here. So this is just showing, like, if you clicked on the capability statement link, I have a landing page on my website. I have a downloaded PDF version of it as well, but I have the information here. So wherever I'm giving it to, if I don't have the physical capability statement, I at least have it digital as well. And Jose is going to follow up on that. And then just making sure you follow up, right? So you'll get these slides. I won't read them. Just promptly follow up with them, send a message. I'll connect with them on LinkedIn if I can find them there, send a message there, send an email, unless you said, hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Definitely add value, as I mentioned already. Share information that you might have talked about. Make a note like, oh, I told them about this article that I want to send them, follow up with all that. And then making sure you sign up. So I'm going to give you some quick resources on places that I think around LA that are good places to sign up. Definitely City of Los Angeles, if they already talked about EWDD. Lots of great resources. If you go under the business and real estate services, you'll find all of their LApreneur program, the LA Optimized Business Source Centers, which PACE is one of the business source centers. They all offer great services. So sign up for their email list. It's on somewhere, I think, at the bottom of the homepage, and you'll get anything that they have that they're doing in procurement or business space. Good list to be on. There's one of them. And then Score Los Angeles is Score Southern California. They have a new Olympics program that they just started. So you can go to score.org/Los Angeles. This is on the homepage, and hit that sign up now. And they have different programs like PACE is doing as well, speakers and pitch contests and all around the Olympics opportunities coming up. And then love this list. Glad everybody sign up for their list. I guarantee you're going to love they have the best emails, the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. They have the Business Evolution Program. They do a couple other procurement events as well. Go to their Educational Institute page under programs, but sign up for their list because their weekly emails are very valuable. Programs that they're doing, events, opportunities, the best. And I don't say that because I help them. You're right. And then the chamber. So I mentioned I'm part of the Resilient Business Advising Program. They have quite a few opportunities here besides the business advising program. We have 2 marketing advisors in the program. We have 2 business advisors, and we have a procurement advisor. So she can definitely help at all levels of procurement. Free program for you. They have the Scale program, the Get in the Game, which is their program for all of the sporting event opportunities coming your way. So check out the Entrepreneur and Innovation page on their website. And of course, LA28, if they haven't already talked about that in this series, LA28.org, sign up for their list. Get on their list so you stay in front of LA28's opportunities. And of course, the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission. This is everything but the Olympics. So the FIFA, I think the NBA and Super Bowl. So they have their Business Connect program that some of you could potentially get on. They do list all the services they're looking for on that Business Connect page. So check that out. And there is an event coming up. The USC has their Access Small Business Summit coming up March 20th at USC. So scan that QR code at the bottom right there. I'll hold it there. This is like second to the last slide here. So opportunity to get in front of some procurement opportunities. I will be there as well. So that's that. We got it. And then this is coming up. So NAWBO LA has an annual procurement event every November. So the 8th annual one be coming up. This is from last year's event. We usually have Southern California Edison, SoCal Gas. I'm trying to remember who else we had there this year. Usually utilities, Bank of America, a couple others, contractors. It's different every year who we bring in. You get matchmaking sessions, resources, and panels on that. So if you want to get on NAWBO LA's list, there's the email admin EO at NAWBO LA and add me to your list, include your email, and they'll add you to the list so you make sure you get in front of the procurement opportunities. So, and real quick, few last marketing tools here. She mentioned you want to have marketing tools. These are tools I use on a regular basis. So you can use for procurement or beyond. A lot of you might use these tools, ChatGPT or any of the AI tools to help you create content. To get out there, maybe help with the capability statement, Constant Contact, or any of the email programs, email marketing, using those tools to help you reach out. I use a tool called Metrical. It's a social media scheduler, helps you keep your content consistent out there using a social media scheduler. Canva will help. I create my capability statement on Canva. I help people create them as well. Your business cards, your brochures, all of your business card with your QR code you can create on Canva. And then Calendly, make it easier for people to schedule with you. You should all have Calendly or using a calendar tool for people to schedule so you're not playing the, hey, do you have Tuesday at 3 o'clock open? Scheduling games. So those are top tools that I use on a regular basis. I know there's others, but just to give you a few to use for your business. And then finally, if you want to talk to me about any of your marketing, have any questions about capability statements after Jose talks to you, anything marketing, you can schedule a strategy session with me there on the right QR code. I also have a marketing lab LinkedIn group. I have, I think, 1,300 people in the room. Come in there and ask any marketing questions. Introduce yourself. You are allowed to shamelessly plug yourself in my group. Anything you want to share, link to your site, as long as it's nothing illegal. You're allowed to do, there's no rules as far as plugging your business in there. So come introduce yourself to the 1,300 people in there. And with that, I'm done. So I'll give it a second for you guys to scan the codes and I'll pass it over to Jose. I'll answer any questions that come up after, if that works for Christina.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Patty. It just shows that you can literally network anywhere, right? We're virtually, physically, even here in the chat. So, but I think my biggest nugget that I had learned was doing two different business cards and one of them leading to your capability statement. So I think that's a very clever idea. So with that said, if many of you may not have capability statements yet, so we are here with Jose Diaz from PACE, who will teach us the in and out of creating a capability statement.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Jose. I'm newly hired to PACE. Prior to coming to PACE, I was in the sourcing procurement field for 17 years. I also managed businesses for 15 years, mostly big box retail. I'm here to go over, and this is part of your marketing program too, as well, your capability statement. I'm here to go over that with you today. Your capability is basically a snapshot of your business, your products and services. It's basically a resume for your business, and that's what a capability statement is. It used to compare it and your qualifiers for your suppliers. Crafting a compelling capability statement. It should be one page, very brief, no fluff, and straight to the point. Personally and visually interesting with some graphics like your company logo, your business brand. Usually, you want to create it in Word or Publisher using a template that reflects the company's brand logo and colors, and then save it as a PDF. Components of an effective statement. And these are the primary components that your capability statement is going to have, and I'll go over all of them. It's going to have your executive summary. It's going to design to detail your company's services and why you are an exact fit for that agency that's looking for your services. And details your company's expertise, the industry you serve, and the years experience, special skills and credentials, small business certifications, and why you should be considered a good supplier. You want to get to the point. And here's an example. A Saturn Concrete Company was founded in 2010. It has general license with over 12 years of experience in construction industry. The company specializes in commercial and residential projects, which includes wood, metal framing, concrete foundations, plumbing, and electrical wiring services. Saturn Concrete has approximately 10 years extraction and project management experience and has worked in several public works projects. The company also poses numerous small business certifications, including DBA, SPE, MBE, and HubZone. Certifications. Saturn Concrete Construction is a member of the Southern California Contractors Association. Core competencies. Primary services and products your company offers. Then you want to be bullet point format for it to be reader friendly. Start with the company's best qualified products and services. Comprehensive range of services and products provided. Be industry specific and list what the buyer is looking for. Showcase a menu of your company's professional services. A core company sample right here. Software application development, Microsoft technologies, business intelligence, data warehousing, analytics, technical and project management, business analytics and software testing, and enterprise resource planning, website development and maintenance, and cloud technology virtualization. Past performance, list your company's actual contract performance history, list major clients. Also, you want to put business that customers with similar work performed, list contracts and related and similarly sized agencies, and then follow a hierarchy, federal, state, city, and commercial. Showcase your company's actual performance expertise. Include past related services performed as an employee of other companies. Show your company has exact work expertise to get the job done. And here's some of the examples of the past performances you can list on your capability statement. You work for the city, Fannie Mae, Merrill Lynch. Want to list all those big names. And here's an example. Ben Franklin Technology Partners, Philadelphia. Stonehenge Advisors in Philadelphia as well. And next one is key differentiators. Is this list your company's sales section? This is a list of unique factors that benefits your company's products, services, and sets you apart from the competition. Showcase how your business is best suited for the needs of your agency. A clear statement that relates to the specific needs of that agency. Help them choose you. Key differentiators. What sets you apart from the competitors? A clear value proposition, value-added services. List your company's highest quality skill, unique methodologies, credentials, licensing and training, equipment and technology, and experience. Statement that specifically addresses your agency's request. And here's the sample. GT remains competitive by lowering the overhead costs without GT has achieved sustainable growth because of its pricing structure. And what you're saying here is it's eco-friendly products, advanced employee training, quality control specialists assigned to each site, biweekly inspections, emergency services. Clients can call or email GTech at 24/7, fully insured and bonded. And your company data is just going to show the point of contact, who I can contact, like your email, phone number, web address, and your business location. License codes and certifications. Pertinent information like numerical identifiers, unique entity identifier, cage codes, NICS codes, and if you're registered under the SAM site, your contractor's license, special permits, and all the small business certifications. So takeaways in your capability statement, it's an important marketing tool to promoting your business. This is your business resume. A capability statement informs the existing and potential customers about your business capabilities, who you are, what you sell, and your core competencies to bring to the table. This is your elevator pitch. Capability statement includes specific information about your products and services, your qualifications, credentials, and differentiators, and your company data. Readers will visit your website for additional information. Make sure that your website is constantly updated and government and procurement focused. Update your capability statement regularly to include products and services and other corporate information. So as you gather more certifications and more products that you're selling, you want to constantly update your capability statement. And that's, as far as the capability statement, I think that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you, Jose. And I think we have some questions on the chat. So let me just sure. Okay. Let me just go through. So, okay, so now let's do the Q&A. So one question is, which is an interesting question. Do people change their capability statement each time they're bidding on a new project or have a new client?
Yes, you want to cater your capability statement to match that, what is required on that contract.
Yes, and then just to add to that, so think of your capability statement as a business resume. So if you're going to be doing, if you're looking for different jobs, right? And then you're catering your resume to a specific company, then think of your capability statement as the same thing. So what I always recommend is having a few different versions of your capability statement. Let's say one that's if they're looking for a specific focus, you may want a capability statement on that one. So I always have people give about 2 or 3 versions ready with them. Okay. Any other questions? I'm just looking at some questions on the chat. Okay. What if you haven't worked with big names yet in this current business, but have in an adjacent or related work? Is there a way to ethically show past big client names?
Am I allowed to speak? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Andrew.
Okay, so remember, the capability statement is like a living document. So depending on the target market that you're going after, the agency or the department, we can tweak that to match what the buyer is looking for. Now, the question was, so for instance, I went for a contract and at that time, my business was only in business for 2.5 years. And they were asking for 5 years of experience. But at a former company, I had that experience, and I did exactly that. I used to work in the government. So if you don't have the actual performance in your company right now, your professional experience will suffice to a degree, because if you did that before, your company has that experience right now.
Yes, and in addition to that one, even if there's something in an adjacent or related field, some of the skills and the experiences and the expertise you have is transferable. So long as you highlight the transferability of the skills, then I think that should be adequate to show expertise.
I think it's very important when you're really trying to showcase your company that you show them that you have the expertise, because the buyer is looking for some very specific skill sets, and your capability statement needs to address that. So we're trying to show that even though our company has only been in existence to say 2.5 years, I got 10 years of experience from my partners. That's why it's also really important that you can showcase the skill set of your skilled staff or your partners or co-owners in the company. So you want to showcase that you are a highly qualified business, and that's what the target that we want to do.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. And there's another question. Let me see. When it comes to never having government contracts before, what would be the best way to go about putting it down, as in the business resume, which would show lack of experience in procurement?
Well, there's really no substitute for actual experience. So part of our journey in evolving best business practices is to start to build a portfolio. Because what we don't want to put is something that's not true. Okay, but keep in mind, if they're looking for a certain type of skill set or past experience with working on government or utility or private sector contracts, we can hire the staff, skilled staff that have done it. We can subcontract that out, or we can joint venture. So anytime that we're sourcing contracts and we're trying to make a presentation, we want to make sure that we identify what the challenge is and how we can overcome that.
Okay. Great question. And then there's another question. Does the private sector really care about the NICS codes?
Yes, because look, when you file your taxes, you got to put your primary NICS code when you do your business taxes. And, now the private sector doesn't have to accept small business certifications, a little bit more free there. But I think if you, as part of your business model, that you include all your NEXT codes, because remember, if you register in a vendor portal, and let's say you only have 2 NEXT codes, there could be possibly 10 other NEXT codes of services you can perform, and you're never going to get notice of them. So it's important to be robust. I would also say that if it's industry related, I would still put my NEXT codes in there. Let's say there's 10 things in our industry we can do, and I'm only good at 8 of them. I would still put the other 2 if they're related, because then that way we can joint venture, we can hire, we can subcontract out.
And in relation to the NICS code, and I know this is a question that has come up in previous modules, is that how many NICS codes should they ideally put in their capability statement?
Well, I would say minimum of 5, but it depending on the industry. A lot of times you say, well, I'm an architect, and, okay, well, you have architectural services, but you also do business management consulting. And you may have other things that you do. So keep in mind, like on your core competencies, what you want to list in a hierarchical fashion, the most sophisticated and best service you can provide, okay, and all the way to something that's value added. So as a former buyer, I may see exactly what I'm looking for, but you don't know that. I know that come April 1st, we're going to expand the department. We're going to have other services provided. And I see in your capability statement that you have those other services. Well, I'm going to keep your capability statement. And when that opportunity comes up, I'm going to send it out to you.
Great. And there's just a comment to Mr. Barrera. This man is an encyclopedia of government procurement do's and don'ts. So let's do a virtual hand clap for Andrew. How do we double check our codes that we have already registered or listed with the city and state?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that question.
Yeah, so the question is, how do we double check our codes that we have already registered or listed with the city and state? And so this is from Francis. So if you want to clarify your question a little bit, are you thinking about whether you should double check whether your codes are right or the codes
I
that
think
you've already...
I could answer that. I think I could
Okay.
answer it. So keep in mind, we want to be current. And as our businesses grow and we evolve, we're going to improve. We're going to find new things that we do. We're going to expand new methodologies, new technologies. So if you contact us, we can help you research NEXT codes and all the relevant codes. Keep in mind, the world is run by numbers. Your license number, your business license number, there's many things. So your codes, your NEXT codes, and your UN codes are very important. But same thing like with CAGE codes. If you're going to do business with the federal government, the CAGE code helps buyers within the federal government know who you are, what you do, and where you're located. So numbers are very important, and being current, nothing can be worse than you having an old capability statement that's antiquated and not current. So.
Yeah, and I think this may be a follow-up question. So once you get your NICS code right, then you can change your code anytime. So let's say you go to RampLA or some other procurement website. Yes, so you can change your codes there and update it.
Yeah, you can update it. Yep, you can go
Yes,
in there
yeah.
and add new ones,
Yeah.
or get rid of some if you don't
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
industry anymore.
And this is a question, says, how do you highlight your or maybe it's what do you highlight in your capability statement?
Well, just like what Jose mentioned, it's a traditional structured business resume, but it's a snapshot. It's not a sales piece. It's a factual statement, a living document to tell the reader. And we want it to be user-friendly, easy to follow, and in the section. So a brief description, which Jose brought up, of who we are, right to the point. This is who we are. This is how long we've been in business. This is the industries we service. And if there's anything special there, then you got your core competencies. These are the list of things that we can do. Then you've got your past performance, because there's no substitute than performance. And even if you didn't do it as a company, but somebody, your staff or you have the professional experience, we want to put it. We don't need to make sure we have all the relevant next codes and certifications and registration data, and everything is accurate. And the differentiators is very important. If there is a sales piece in there, it's the differentiators, because what you're trying to do, it's not that, hey, we're the biggest and we're the best. We're talking about actual business practices that we bring to the table that sets us apart from the competition. And that's what we want to do. So you come and you see with us, work with Jose and myself and any of our other counselors, Christina, we will help. The more we learn about your company, the more we're able to tweak it and to showcase it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so with that one, it said, can someone help us with finding contracts and showing the bidding process? So yes, as Andrew had mentioned, you can contact us at PACE, and we'll be able to help you through our one-on-one counseling. Yeah, and as Andrew had mentioned, so think of it as a resume. If you're going to a job and then you have someone who's hiring you, you only have a couple minutes to really showcase what you have, because they're not going to take 10 minutes to read something. So think of it the same thing with your capability statement. So it's really to capture their interest within, a minute or two to see if they even want to continue, right? Okay, and let me go through. Yes, so please join the Marketing Lab group. And then Patty has posted the LinkedIn group for that section. Okay, and sorry, let me go through this question. So I think that those are the only questions that we have. Let me just check. Okay.
Make sure that you add Patty as one of your resources. She's very skilled, and that's why we work closely with her. And she's an expert in marketing and can really provide you some major guidance.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see. Where do we get our capability statement get seen, and what? Yes. So basically, where do they bring their capability statements to, or how do they use it once they have it?
Well, okay, so one thing, so you could see Patty had it on her website, a link for capability statements. But traditionally, we use it for target marketing. So let's say we know who our target market is, and we want to go after companies either geographically or similar size and type of business industry. And so we're going to do our research. Patty brought out that we could use LinkedIn because they have all these special features, and we have to do our research. So we need to Google the company, find out what they buy, do they buy what you sell. You can look at past potential contracts that they may have done on their vendor portals, so we know that we're not wasting our time, and try to establish a point of contact. Once we've done that, we could do a letter of introduction, and we could submit our capability statement. And if we have a point of contact, and maybe you can leverage one of our resources or our relationships, we can help you do that. But that's more on a target marketing. And if you go to supplier diversity events or major business expos, you want to have your capability statement. And I would recommend not just having one, because let's say there's one you want to do retail, go after retail business, and the other one you want to do government contracting. So you want to make sure, like I said, this is a living document, that you're tailoring your capability statement to match the target market that we're going after. But traditionally, so I used to be a former buyer for a local city on transportation, I would collect them, because I know that here we come July 1, our contract's going to go out to bid again. And I want to make sure, because I've collected 10, 12 of what I consider pre-qualified businesses, I'm going to keep that. And my job as a procurement officer or a supplier diversity officer is to collect that and pass that up the chain. And remember, the government, and they buy everything. Private sector, utility companies, they buy everything. Pencils, cups, equipment, buses, professional services, catering, and so there's we need to be a little bit more critical thinking in our messaging and clearly understanding the markets that we're going to pursue.
Andrew, I was going to add to that. This is Patty. Just like I mentioned, have physical and digital cards, have physical and digital capability statements. A couple years ago, I attended the WeBank conference, it was a Women's Business Enterprise National Council conference, and went there. I printed out nice card stock, full color capability statements, had a stack of them all ready to go. And I think I probably handed out two, because whenever I walked up to one of the tables, they had Amazon there and Target and Bed Bath and Beyond and Toyota and Honda, all these big corporate brands. And all they did was like, see that QR code here, this little tent card we have here, scan the QR code and go sign up on our vendor portal. So luckily, WeBank told us before we attended our first conference to go and sign up on all their vendor portals, like I mentioned earlier. So that I was like, I did that already. So I didn't even need the capability statements, but be prepared. Like I said, they did matchmaking. I did hand out a few, but I also was prepared digitally. And I also made sure before you attend any of these supplier diversity summits or conferences or whatever, make sure that you've done the receipt. If you can find an exhibitor list or supplier list, you go and sign up for their portal. So they may not want to take the capability statement, but you could say, oh, I'm signed up on your portal. You know, can I give you my card or make a connection? I did that with Southern California Edison. She goes, you're in our system. I go, oh yes. She goes, well, give me your card. I'll check it out. So just a reminder about it. So be prepared physically and digitally with both business cards and capability statements.
Yeah, and one thing I would add is that we want to make sure that, remember, companies are made up of people. It's relationships. So we want to find points of contact, or champions within those companies or government agencies that, can showcase us. But it's all about relationships and showing that you have confidence that you can deliver and you're bringing a high quality product or service to the game. And, it's kind of upping your game, because look, no one's going to give you a contract. You got to go get it, especially if you're dealing with other top competitors. Then what's going to set you apart? And also customer service, personality, confidence in the expertise that you bring into the table. All of those are very, very important things that we want to showcase. And that I could look at a piece of paper and say, okay, this person looks pretty interesting, but if I put that paper away, I would like to really talk to you. And I would like to see how effective a communicator you are to showcase that. And also there's your elevator pitch, but we want to tweak it that we're speaking their language and they relate to us.
Right. Yes. And so question here about finding capability statement slides. So I will send the slides over after this this presentation. And then what I'll also do is I will send you 2 examples of a capability statement that you can look at. And then as Patty mentioned, you can also use Canva. So basically think of it as a, as a template, right? So you look at Canva, you look at a resume template, and then you use that in conjunction with the slides and also the capability statement example. So then you can kind of tailor your capability statement that way. And then after that, what you can do is reach out to one of us, and then we can actually help you review your capability statement. So with that said, I think we're ready to almost wrap up. Okay, so last question. Can a small business out of state also bid for contracts? And they're focusing on AI automation tools.
Well, just keep in mind, with the advancements in technology, we don't have to be at a location to be able to perform. However, remember, there is in contracting a local preference in government. So public policy would say, if I'm going to give a $1 million contract out, in reality, I would really like it to be in my jurisdiction. That way, the money is spent within the local economy, jobs are created there, and it's giving a local company an opportunity to increase their skill sets and their ability to perform. But, I'm working on a client right now that's putting a bid on a cancer clinic up in New York, and he's based here in LA, and his partner is based in Florida, I believe. So, the technology is opened up to allow us to service. So it's really going to depend a little bit on your industry. And, but keep that in mind. So yes, you can bid on it. But you should be conscious if you can really perform, because what you don't want to do is get a contract and can't perform. And what's the issue? That it's out of state and I can't service out of state. So,
Yeah.
but yes,
And-
you can.
Yes, and then is there a place to sign up for all the vendor portals in lieu of going to a procurement event?
Well, there's thousands of them, the private sector, utility companies, every state, every government, you got local municipalities. So the smart thing to do is, what do you sell? Okay, and let's start local. So let's say you register with LA Ramp, doing business with the county, register with SAM for the feds, doing Cali Procure. That's where you start out. And maybe organize yourself in sense of quarters every 3 months. And then every 3 months, I'm going to increase that. I'm going to go to San Diego County. I'm going to go to City of Sacramento. I'm going to go to Santa Barbara. You know, we start expanding out the registration. Okay, and so that's more of vendor portals, but to actually meet somebody, then we're going to need to do our research, like Patty had mentioned, on a company. We're going to find a target market no matter where they're at, and research them, find out who the point of contact is, make sure that what department. It's real important when you are researching a company or you're researching contract opportunities, like let's say Cali Procure. We want to find out what departments buy what we sell, so that we can tweak, so we're not just throwing a shotgun everything to see what sticks. We're going to be very precise and who we're going after, and in timing. And but eventually you're going to want to expand that net. But it's not only just registering or making these contacts, but you got to follow up. I think what did you say, Patty? The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. You got.
Fortune is in the follow-up.
There you go. There you go. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
baby boomer. I'm forgetting some stuff. But
yeah.
but anyway, so you remember, it's not only good enough to provide a top quality product and service. You got to have your business infrastructure, and your business development strategy is just as important. And you need to have it at that same game, that same level.
Yeah. And one of the things I also would recommend is going to module 2, where we looked at unlocking procurement opportunities with RAMP-LA, which Andrew had mentioned. So if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to all the past modules, the recordings, and also how to get and apply for ProcureLA. Because there was a question on ProcureLA, whether this program is only for brick and mortar businesses. So yes, through ProcureLA, which is that special program that we have with the mayor's office. Yes, you have to be a brick and mortar. However, we do have different programs under PACE where we can put you under. So whether you're an online business, brick and mortar within LA, outside of LA, if you can just go to ProcureLA or reach out to me or Andrew, what we can do is we can put you in a program that will help you in procurement, and it doesn't have to be ProcureLA. So with that said, I just wanted to give you a few seconds to screenshot this for any information, for my contact information, and then I'll just give you a couple seconds. And then also this one. So if you wanted to scan this QR code, so you can look at the past modules and also the next couple modules that we're going to be having. So Andrew will be in the 5th one, which is mastering bid proposals. So that would be a great one. Basically, we're going to talk about key strategies for request for proposal submissions. And after that, what happens after you've actually gotten the proposal. So with that said, I think I don't see any more questions on the chat. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Who've attended, and thank you, Patty, Jose, and Andrew, and then we'll see you next week. So